Hello everyone. Today I'm joined by the CEO of a flourishing entrepreneurial venture, Bluebella. Welcome, Emily.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us today and sharing your experience with us. If I were to sort of start off with the most basic question, if you could sort of share a bit more about what is Bluebella?
Okay, so Bluebella is a lingerie and nightwear brand. We're a modern directional brand that incorporates high-end design and style, but with an affordable price tag. We sell in the UK via most major retailers, on our own site, bluebella.com, and we're expanding internationally as well.
If we were to go back a few years and just sort of start with the most basic questions in terms of why did you decide to become an entrepreneur? What motivated you?
It was a combination of wanting to create and build something myself, not wanting to work for somebody else. But it was that combined with having an idea that I thought had legs, and I wanted to give it a go. I was more scared of never trying it out and always wondering what if than trying it and potentially failing.
Looking back, what were some of the key obstacles you faced and how did you overcome those obstacles?
The key obstacle for me was definitely around funding. When I started the business, the banks weren't lending, it was a real problem. And the issue for my business, being a very female-focused business, a lingerie business, was that the business angel community tends to invest in businesses it understands, and the business angel community is predominantly male.
Right.
And so that was an issue, and I had to think very creatively to find my investors to grow the business.
And how did you overcome that challenge?
In a number of ways. When the normal routes, the normal pitching events weren't working for me, I decided first of all to put on my own event for high net worth women. I cold called people, it wasn't my own contacts, I got on the phone and I got people together, and it was through that I met Adidi, which was the first all-female network of business angels, and I was their first investment.
Right.
I also went out and looked for trade investors who understood the industry. I just looked for new avenues, really.
Absolutely. As you reflect back on your journey, what resource do you think would have helped you the most as you grew your business?
I think contacts are so valuable. You know, I think if you've got a good business and you're enthusiastic and so on, it's actually very rewarding for somebody who's a bit more experienced, who's been there and done that, to work with you. They bounce off that youth and enthusiasm. So finding those people who really bought into what I was doing, had that little black book that I could access, I think that those contacts were key.
Well, absolutely key for you then.
Yeah.
And certainly key for you as you sort of continue to build your business.
You know, I think networking is something that often you don't have time for, but is so valuable and always brings new ideas and new people.
As you reflect on your journey, is there anything that the industry or government could do more to support ambitious women entrepreneurs like yourself?
Yeah, I think there absolutely is, and I think it's really important that happens, because as a country we're missing out on some amazing businesses and some amazing female entrepreneurs. I think the problem is probably twofold. I think a lot of women, young women, are not starting businesses maybe because they don't see it as a viable option, or maybe because they need a structured support system around them. So that's something that business and the government can absolutely address. The other issue is funding. Particularly with angel investors often being that early stage funding for businesses. Right. If a business is inherently female focused like mine, it is much harder to raise angel investment because the angel community is 95% male. Right. So the government or business needs to get more women into angel investing or in some way plug that gap. And I think that's a really important thing to address.
That is so true. That is so true. Lastly, Emily, what advice would you have for aspiring young entrepreneurs who are out there starting a business?
My advice would be to find yourself a mentor. It can be incredibly lonely running a business. You know, as you build your team, everyone can complain to you, but you've got no one to complain to and share your worries with and work out your strategy with. And having someone experienced that can help you through that can be on the end of the phone, for me personally has been incredibly valuable. So if you can find that person, I really recommend it.
That's a very valuable advice, actually. And thank you so much for taking the time to join us today and sharing your insights. Thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.